Hi, everybody, or I should say, howdy, adventurers, and welcome to another Monster of the Month with fan meetups, care of Fan Expo Canada, happening this August in Toronto. We're excited for it to come back. Yeah. Hoping we can put on some D&D Adventures League or Dungeons and Dragons for those that aren't aware of what is affectionately called D&D. I wouldn't say this is rated, G. This is probably a PG rated show, but at the same time, we want to keep it, we want to keep it clean and fun for the most part, as well as in the comments, after it's posted there on YouTube. Um, but without further ado, I'm one of your fan meetups ambassadors. I'm Jeremy Johnston.
And I'm Angelo Corsino, the other fan ambassador.
Yeah, and we run a series of various fan meetups, always talking about Dungeons and Dragons. And the Monster of the Month this month is brought to you by our guest DM.
It's the first one I'm not doing. So we are a pleasure to introduce Kyle to the DM world of Monster of the Month.
Hello, I'm Kyle.
So, Kyle, what are you bringing to the table today?
Well, thanks to Angela's great idea of why not always bring more, I've got a couple of god or godlike figures to show off just how powerful level 20 characters can be, but also
More than one?
Just how powerful, why you shouldn't mess with gods frivolously.
Yo, you're using plural.
Yeah. Since when do we do anything simple on this show?
Oh,
I don't know. You brought down all those like legendary dragons last time. I was just like,
That's what I said, man. That's what it's like.
Okay,
All
so
right.
let's meet some of our other players. Angela, if you want to do some intros.
All right. So we're coming to the table today. We have Barry. Barry, tell everyone a little bit about you, where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Barry. I'm from Pennsylvania in the United States. I'm going to be playing Graxt, an orc. I figured we're fighting gods, so I want to pick the most OP class in 5e. So I'm going to be playing an arcane archer, level 20. So I figured if I'm going to get 2 turns, I got 2 shots.
You got 2 shots. Yeah,
works.
exactly.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try and seeing what you got to bring, Kyle.
All right. Coming around, going down on my screen at least. Carlo.
I'm Carlo. I'm part of the UTF group as well with Angelo and Jeremy, where we've played against each other on numerous adventures in Adventures League over the last little bit. Today, I will be bringing the true most powerful class, the Divination Wizard, aptly named Tim the Diviner, and his friend, Sim the Diviner the 24th. And because there's been 23 of them at least in previous combats, right, Jeremy?
Oh, at least. Amazing.
At
I
least.
love that we're numbering them.
Yep.
Next down the list, we have Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie, and I wish you a nice evening from the Czech Republic, where it's 1 a.m. And I'm gonna be playing Meryl, the half orc, half something very much different, but God knows who, monk, because if we're fighting gods, I'm not planning to kill one, but I would like to survive. And if I manage to stun one, then I take that as a victory.
Then Jeremy, what are you bringing to the table today?
Oh, I'm bringing the brother of the diviner from another mother, Toman Tal Tan Thul, the Netherese wizard or shade, and their simulacrum, who knows nothing. Therefore, you know their name.
And then I'll introduce myself too. I'm Angelo, and I'm going to be playing the tag along to the 2 Divination Wizards, because why not bring a Hexblade Cleric Fighter when it comes to wanting to one-shot gods? If you can, possibly, probably not. We'll see how it goes. I'll be playing Lucy and the Angel of Destruction. All right, so without any further ado, Kyle, you're going to take over and beat the crap out of us for a little bit. Let's see how this goes.
This is going to be interesting. So you guys are all fairly powerful adventurers. You've been about all of the realms, and I don't know who you've You're like really annoyed, but you did a spectacular job of doing it. As you all kind of have found yourselves deep in some sort of fugue plane, all you see around you are the coils of a massive serpent, whose head and, for purposes of the game, only accessible areas to actually hit her from is right here in the middle, where we have the lovely Dendar the Night Serpent, who has a very small person, comparatively, just hanging out on her head. No reason to be worried about that and, what that could entail for you. But we're just going to hop right in here and roll some initiatives.
Ooh,
Okay.
start off strong. If you were in Mayora, you get +6 because your proficiency bonus should be about that high.
Amazing.
Well, that's not a good start for.
I mean, a
Sorry,
net point
Ange.
for 17 is not terrible.
We got a 3 ourselves. So.
It's okay. I'm rolling how I roll for initiatives. So
Kyle and I rolling against each other is usually like, throwing wet noodles.
Oh, it's always a hilarious moment to watch us go, okay, something might have happened there. Let's find out what it was. All right. So it looks like...
Just wait. I didn't add +6.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
1
So
second.
casual 34.
Yeah, just casually there. Then that will mean that, Tomental, it is your turn.
Okay. So we're up against a god, eh? And there's no gate that this thing came out of. It's just God versus us, eh?
Yeah, you seem to be surrounded by God who can eat a sun if they wanted to. So...
All right. So unlike last time, I am going to stick close to the paladin just because, these saves are going to be so high and to try and beat it. I better stay here. And I mean, normally, I would talk to a god. So because, I plan on being one day. So in ancient Netherese, I'll just ask Dendar what's up.
I mean, you've annoyed enough of the right people, and I've been told that this might help weaken a few seals upon gates, and therefore I believe that it is time to devour your tiny little body. And I hear that you come with ice cubes too, so that should be very nice.
Well, if you're even wasting your time on us, it must mean that we're some sort of threat. So I'm going to make you eat those words.
Well, bring it on, tiny manling.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'm going to cast that famous level 9 spell, and I'm going to do it twice because the Sim's going to cast it as well. I'll just roll it right here. And I'm going to space it like very far away from the party, okay? Don't worry.
You mean you're not going to drop the meteors on us too?
No,
Okay,
I am not. I am not. But I got to do what I got to do. So
Well, as you start casting that,
Yeah.
you feel something start to tug at your spell.
Yeah, that's okay. Does that feel like a counterspell?
It does, but also it doesn't. It doesn't affect anything in this case. But that's not actually a counterspell. That's coming from the little friend on top who has a lovely reaction ability.
Okay.
Unfortunately, oh, sorry, that's just that. Let me roll a int check here for this person.
No.
Oh, yeah, your spell doesn't go off. No, it
No,
did.
he does. No, he rolls a 2.
Okay. Divination.
Yep.
Okay. Your spell is not stopped.
Okay, here's spell number 2. Pop, pop.
So the snake surprisingly can't dodge out of the way of all of that. However, cares not for your flame.
Good to know.
Okay.
And so that plus that is... And That's even like doesn't even like when it fails, just shrugs it off.
Well, got to do what I can. All right, that's it
Yep.
for me.
And then just a little one too. But yeah, because I rolled those ones. He's gonna pull himself together and save that a bit.
The fire did no damage to the Inquisitor-looking dude.
No, the fire did no damage to the snake.
Yeah, okay. But
it did something to the little man on top.
Okay.
All right, make me calculate things. But yes, while I'm finishing doing calculations, Grax, you're up next.
Yeah, Grax sees this giant serpent that he has sworn to every living person he could find that he was going to bring to justice for all the evils it's ever committed. You see him reach over to his bow, which is it's like an elvish bow, and he is clearly an orc. But he whispers into it, and he swears an oath into his oath bow against this giant night serpent. And he is going to just unleash heck, hopefully. Before I roll anything, you see a bunch of tattoos flare up on his body, and they start swirling with like purple, dark magic. And he is going to attempt to start adding necrotic damage to his bow. I don't know if it'll do anything, but before I roll a million hits as a level 20 fighter, I'll give you that option. And then he also has what looks to be very fancy arrows. He has a couple of +3 arrows that he's procured that he's going to
saved for a special occasion.
Yeah, he's gathering these up. So I'm going to add these into the plus roll here. Let's see. Okay. So let's see if I do this right. It should work. We'll see. Okay, so he's going to roll these sharpshooter attacks at advantage, and we'll see what happens here.
All right, go ahead.
So that's a 21 to hit on the first.
Misses.
Did you say misses?
Misses.
Okay, we're going to keep rolling. Let's see. Got to roll better than that. Come on. A 28.
That will hit.
Okay, so on top of this, he's going to pump in, and you can tell me if this does anything, 4d6 points of necrotic.
That will do something.
Okay, so we'll roll that in here. So that's 15 points of necrotic on top of all that. Then he's going to take his third shot here, sharpshooter.
All right.
That's another 28.
Hits.
And he'll roll on another 4d6 points of necrotic. Welcome to level 20 fighter, boys and girls. And his fourth shot here. That's a 28 to hit.
Yep.
And another 4d6 necrotic from this tattoo. He's been planning on nuking this guy, hopefully, from the beginning. And then, believe it or not, he's going to action surge.
Surprise of all surprises.
And he's going to go and do all that again. But he's out of +3 arrows this time. So we'll see. So that's a 26 to hit.
Hits.
And another 4d6. Because he can do this on every hit. And if for everybody wondering at home, this is coming from the Blood Fury tattoo.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it is a legendary. This is the second of that salvo. That's a 19 to hit.
Definitely going to miss.
Okay, we'll roll another shot here. Ooh, a 15. Last shot. A 28. And on this one, he is going to choose to use... he's going to, just out of spite, because this is a weird thing, he's going to use one of his magical shots. And it's going to be a grasping arrow. So we'll do an extra, maybe 4d6 points of poison damage.
He takes none of that poison.
Doesn't seem to have any effect, but what happens is a bunch of thorns and stuff grow out from the arrow. It will reduce his speed by 10 feet. And if it moves at the beginning of its turn, it'll take an additional 4d6 slashing damage.
All right.
So, and there is, if it wants to use an action, it can do that to try and get out of the brambles. And that will be his turn.
That was a very effective turn. Next up will be Sim, the diviner.
Sim the Diviner looks to his creator and says, just nods, and Tim nods back and brings his hands to his mouth and just does a little whisper. I need both Dendar and our small friend to make intelligence saving throws. Actually, no, sorry, never mind. Dendar gets a 3, and the other guy also gets a 3 because diviners.
Yep. And then they're going to pass.
Okay,
Both of
so
them.
both
Okay.
both will take. Not great, but
Yeah, it's average.
average. A lovely scream enters both of their heads. And that will be it.
All right. Meryl.
I believe Timmy goes before her. It just
Yes.
got
Yeah, the order's
aligned
kind of a little
weirdly.
scrambled. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah.
So other diviner.
Other diviner looks and goes, you know what? That works so nice. Let's do it twice. Once again, int saves. Dendar will roll an 8 on her save.
All right.
That one was less so. All
Yeah,
right.
that was awful.
Okay. Little guy handily saves that.
All right.
Casual plus 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I manage to pass anything. I roll with giant pluses.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. She's just going to take it this time. All right. Now it would be Meryl's turn.
All right, Meryl is going to bonus action awaken her astral self as kind of all these spectrals, arms and a mask and all kinds of cool stuff starts kind of flickering around her, and then I can run up walls, so I assume I can run up the snake all the way to the little dude.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Awesome. So that will take us 55 feet here. And she's just gonna start smacking using the spectral arms. There we go. So that's a smack number 1.
That is going to just hit.
Sweet.
But then he immediately teleports away from you.
Okay,
And you
I got
take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Hey, it's not so bad. And I got 15 feet left. Well, that is frustrating. That is frustrating indeed. She'll just keep smacking at the snake then, because he's there. So that's 2 more attacks, and she gets to take 3 attacks instead of 2 with her astral arms.
Yes.
So
that's going to miss.
Okay. And that's 2. And then she'll just kind of slightly start following a little buddy there, and that will be her turn.
All right. Thank you very much for becoming an ally with an enemy that she can reach. So at the end of her turn, she is just going to take a quick little grasping coils attack on you.
Okay.
So 23 to hit.
That will miss. My AC is currently 26.
Monks. Yes. If I hadn't rolled so lovingly, that was great. Yeah. So that'll make it Lucian's turn.
Lucian spreads his plane-touched wings. He looks over at Tim and he goes, "Now?"
I got one for you if you need it.
He looks over at Tomenthal and he goes, "Now?"
Yeah.
Executive Order 67.
Execute.
Yeah, so he flies in towards the big head of the snake, 30 feet.
Yep.
And as he does, you can see the tattoos on him flaring, and he's going to point at the the snake, and he's going to curse hit twice. Once as a bonus action with Hexblade's Curse, and then again with Pat to the Grave. And he's going to say, to the grave with you. And then he's going to action surge and try to kill him.
Yep.
Great Weapon Master Swing. Is this
This is a crit.
Do you have a 20? Yep, okay. So we've turned on force criticals. So it's a good thing because we rolled a 2.
Yep.
Okay, so...
Yeah, you're going to do some math here.
Yeah. So we've got 38. 38 and... Hold on, let's do this. Just the... Oops, not that one. We're going to... This is what you have to do when you play high-level characters sometimes. Plus... Is it immune to force, necrotic, radiant, or magical slashing?
No.
Okay. Is it resistant to any of those?
No.
Okay. Well, it's not that great. It's only 328 on the first swing.
She's still up.
Okay. So we're going to swing again. Do either of you have a 19?
I do not.
All right.
Nope, I just missed
So
it.
we're just going to go.
Hit you with the go fish.
Yeah. So we're going to turn off force criticals. And we're going to get rid of some of this damage calculation.
But then,
Oh my gosh! What? Amazing!
We're gonna
quietly say rude, but okay.
We're gonna burn a second charge.
So who's the real god here?
So that's going to be to start. It's going to be 35 to 41 magical slashing.
Yep.
And then all we got left to put on this is another 4th level smite. So
Nice.
it's going to be 10d8.
Well, 10d8 is 10d8.
Casual 10d8.
And another charge from the tattoo for 8d6 necrotic.
Amazing.
Wow.
All right, so that one is going to be 87.
I got them all. I got them all.
Okay, you got them all? All right. All right, and that's my turn.
Yeah, just fun there. It's a good thing I know that you guys have shenanigans. Otherwise, this would have been much less entertaining. However, it's Dendar's turn now.
Mm-hmm.
Dendar's going to attempt to do something here. Starting off, she is going to ask Lucian to please make a whiz save.
How's about you roll an 18?
Does 33 save then?
Almost certainly.
Okay.
I saw it this morning.
Not by much, but yes.
Oh man! I'm glad I had that for you.
Then she's just gonna be like, "Well, that really wasn't nice of you." So,
No, she probably didn't like that very much.
no. Coil 22.
I will shield. Am I going to get counterspelled?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Counter.
So then that hits.
But
It's not a
actually,
counter,
it's not actually casting counterspell due to the fact that it's a new stat block where they don't always just use the spells.
Oh my!
It is a reaction ability where just cancels your spell and you take psychic damage.
Damn it!
Yep. I like that they've added those as a DM personally. But
It's
that's
really
just my
kind of
opinion.
nice because otherwise, especially at tier 4, you're like, oh, and here becomes the counterspell chain.
Yeah.
So
All
that
right. So
coil's
that's,
gonna hit.
It was about to happen.
Yep.
all right. So 26
And
damage
then
taken.
31.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 23. So shield only would have helped with the first one in this case, but gotta let the little guy do what he does.
All right. All damage taken.
All right. Little guy doesn't like the fact that there's archers around and teleports right there.
Uncalled for.
Everybody within 15 feet of there. So looks like everyone except for Sim is going to take 11 psychic damage
Just from him showing up.
just from him showing up.
Interesting.
And
And
like
you
when you see
see
your
his
boss at work for the first time that day. Happened.
That brain just hurts a
Yeah.
little. Yeah, okay.
and you see that literally the wounds that were done from the pummeling of Meteor Storm begin to seal up as he teleports in.
Okay.
Then he
Oh, I
is
know
going to loose a. Yeah, he sees you, real wizards. He has true sight, so he sees you, real wizards. And yeah, he's just gonna pop a lightning bolt right down.
Is
Here,
that a
can't-
spell?
This is a spell.
Counter that spell.
Okay, he got his reaction back, so
He did.
dread counters your counter.
Well, then John's. Oh, what?
I will counter the
Yes,
lightning bolt.
Yes, he can't do it ridiculously, but the first counter there does take another 10 points of psychic damage. Satellite's just really messing with your mind.
I see.
He has done his spell casting, and then for what looks like a wizard, makes 2 melee attacks
What?
against
After casting a spell?
Grax.
Yeah, that's another new thing that they added that I really like.
Yeah. So as a bit of an afterthought, 22 to hit on Grax there,
A 22 will do it.
and also a 21.
21 will do it.
So you are actually this turn only taking 15 piercing and 20 necrotic.
Okay, so 35.
Yes. At the start of your turn, you're going to take another 23 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then you can make a con save for each of those. He's a fun person. And then he's just... Yeah, he's just going to walk right away from you there, Grax. Just going to walk right into the wizards.
Hit him with the bow.
Kick him in the shins as he walks by.
Yes.
Ah.
Indeed.
You're more than welcome to.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give him the. I'm not gonna give him the notion that I even care. Whatever.
All right. At the end of his turn, the large snake is going to grasping coils on Lucian.
I imagine it not liking me very much after that round. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So you
35 will
take
hit.
26 bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled.
All right.
Yikes.
And then it's Tormental's turn.
Okay. I'm going to take a step back because I know this person doesn't have their reaction because they used it to counterspell.
Yeah, it takes its reaction.
All right.
This guy. Yes, he does.
So 26 to hit for 9 piercing and 8 necrotic.
Whoa. 26 to hit?
Yeah.
Come on now. All right. How much damage?
9 piercing and 8 necrotic.
Wow,
And at the start of your next turn, you'll take more necrotic.
interesting. Okay. All right. And he did that only once? He didn't do that to Jon Snow, did he?
No.
Okay. So then we're going to both cast on him a very fun spell.
Double lich slap.
Yep.
Yep. So only the first one has foresight. The second one does not. So 35 to hit for the first one.
Yep, that is going to hit.
Does necrotic do any damage?
It does, but not as much as you might think.
Okay, well, he's not healing anymore either. And I'm assuming 18 doesn't hit.
18 does.
It does. Oh, so another 21 necrotic. Why it didn't do it the first time, I don't know. So 17 and 21.
Yep. So not quite that amount, but yeah,
Yeah,
damage is done.
not great rolls, but there you go. Have at him.
And then at the end of your turn, Dendar is going to, bite Lucian. Sorry, yes, they call it a claw, but it's a bite. Wow, that's a nat 1 that almost hits you.
Yikes.
There's Kyle.
Yep. There's Kyle.
It was bound to happen at some point. Graxt.
Okay, I believe you said I took 23 points on my start of my turn?
Yes, at the start of your turn, you take 23 points. Technically, you take 3 points and 15 points and can make a con save.
Okay, let me add that back on.
Well, you're going to take both, but you get 2 con saves to get rid of them.
Okay, so this is his normal roll. That's a 23.
That's enough.
And 24.
Yeah, you are no longer being regarded as an afterthought.
Is that a good thing? Do I still take the 23 points of necrotic?
Yes, you take the damage
cool.
and then make the save.
Well, he tweaks me a little bit, so I'm going to turn and just try and shoot him normally. See how this rolls. I'm not going to be at advantage. So that's a 21 to hit.
That's going to hit.
And then I'm going to ask him, as I use my last magical arrow, to make me a DC 20 charisma saving throw or be banished.
He gets an 8.
And then he saves.
Okay, well, that's one less. One less. But I'm also going to pop in my 4d6 of necrotic.
All right.
So 15. But the cool thing is I actually seem to heal.
The necrotic, again, not seeming to do all that it should.
Okay, so I'm guessing, I'm guessing I did like 7 points because I healed the amount that I did.
Yes, it's the amount that you actually did. Then yes, you get your 7 points of healing there.
Then I'm going to, after just spite shooting him, I'm going to, you can see I have this mask on my character, and it's in the shape of a peregrine, so I'm going to fly over in this direction, over here, and I'm going to take my next 3 shots here, sharpshooter at Dendar. These are back at advantage. So it's a 19, which we said misses. That's my second shot. Let's do this again. 26 to hit.
Will hit.
Okay, we'll pump that 4d6 necrotic in there. Does he seem to take all of that or just part of it?
It takes all of it, and Dendar begins to wither and fall.
Oh, snap.
God killer.
When you do, order 67 on anything, it tends to take a lot of damage.
Cool. And then I believe that was my third shot.
That was your third, so yes.
So I'll take my 4th shot back at this other gentleman. These will be straight rolls at sharpshooter. That's a 28 to hit.
That's going to hit.
And we'll throw in another 4d6 of this. I believe I will then action surge and do some more. So I'll roll that. 13 is actually going to miss. 26 to hit.
Yep.
Another 46 necrotic. 2 more shots. 26 to hit.
Yep.
Then my last one. 21 to hit.
Yep.
And that will be the last of my. Those are the last of my charges as well. So, and I heal all of that necrotic as well. So it's half on that. So it's 7 plus 8 and 7. Cool. 22. Cool. That's my turn.
If I can do math for a moment here, it'll be good for me.
Sorry.
No, I'm doing all that. On the last one, he's finally going to use his reaction. And do 8 necrotic damage to you.
Okay.
And teleport. All right. Sim.
Oh, hello. You teleported. Thank you. So Sim looks and was about to do something and decides, no, this is going to be more fun, and begins casting a spell. As seven stars start.
Oh, okay.
No, it's 7 stars radiating around his head.
Yep.
And he picks one of them, looks at it, and goes, "Pretty," and just flicks it in his general direction.
All right.
And I roll a 16, so that's a 32 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
Wonderful.
Divination wizards, you don't roll.
No.
28 radiant damage.
All right.
And that's Sim's turn.
All right. And Tim.
Tim pulls out, goes into his pouch and goes, "I don't like you teleporting everywhere." And he throws some ruby dust in the air, does an incantation, and a lovely cage appears around our friend here as I cast Horse Cage.
For anyone tracking, that was 1,000 gold and ruby dust.
1,500.
Oh, 1,500. Okay.
Come on.
It's like the coolest Kesha concert you've ever been to.
All right. Let's see if he can make this charisma save.
Well, that's if he tries to teleport out.
Just wait. Yeah. And if that's gonna happen, I'll feed him a low roll.
Fair. Good to know. All right. So he's force cage. And then Meryl, it's your turn.
Can I still beat him up if he's in a force cage?
So did you do bars or did you do solid wall?
Bars.
All right, that's
Okay.
partial cover. You can punch
Then
into it.
she's gonna jump off the dying snake and do some monk stuff. And this time actually gonna remember to try stunning strikes on everything that hits. So 26 to hit. Con save, please.
The con save is a 5.
What's your save?
20.
DC 20. He has to burn a legendary resistance.
Okay. So that's 9 force. 26 to hit. Con save, please.
Nobody's messing with my ability to make a con save this time?
Not I.
Not I.
That's gonna make it. 30 to hit. Con save, please.
He's gonna burn it.
Okay. And then she's gonna flurry of blows, so 2 more of these. That's
Nice.
a crit. Con save, please.
Okay, he doesn't need to make a con save. He's already dead.
Oh,
Oh man.
She said con save, okay?
No,
Didn't
that
ask
was
if he had
a
hit points.
absolute pounding.
That was the first combat that's ever actually been won on this show.
Yeah.
That's
I
the first
I
combat
only
I've been
threw
in.
2 things
so.
at you.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't skew it that hard.
No.
And this wasn't at the end of the getting there like you would normally have in an adventure.
Yeah, it's a good
game.
point.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But
Dendar
it's a
is
good
terrifying
showcase
with me
of
getting there.
yeah. So those are fun adventures, which we are going to talk about now as we jump back into this view. All right, so god encounters. There generally you don't ever actually fight the god themselves. You always fight the aspects, because the gods themselves, if they touch the world, they're too powerful. They steamroll level 20s is the way the lore goes. But the aspects can be dealt with because it's only a fraction of their power touching the world. So this one was Dendar, which can be found in what's it, Kyle?
Turn back the endless night.
yeah, one of our favorite adventures.
It is the finale of a quartet of tier 4 or level 17 to 20 adventures that are excellently written and
Yes,
they are just
stunning.
absolutely like probably one of the best like high tier like like printed modules that you can just pick up and run.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it's
And
actually where I started with Adventures League, was running that quartet. And
I remember when you were like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna my first time doing Adventures, like I'm just gonna run tier 4." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Bold strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off for him. Spoiler: it did.
It
Yeah.
did. He did really well. I remember I played 3 of them
yeah,
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
did, and it was a good time. So this was just like you get there with all your abilities that you have, you can throw everything at them, and it's but generally there's going to be like anytime there's like a god involved, there's going to be like a lot of steps to get there,
Oh, for
whether
sure.
because
Right.
odds are they're not coming in by themselves, they're being brought in by some other entities and generally, if they're the evil gods, there's protections in place that both the good guys and the bad guys have to go through. So it's always going to be an interesting way to get there.
Yeah,
Uh,
one way to make it more difficult too that didn't come into play here was if this was like, a big setup for the god, they would probably have some sort of layer actions as well.
all right. So so this is Dendar. There are a whole bunch of other ones that are printed that are also in content that you can just run out of a box. I think that's what we're going to focus on, because when it comes to making your own deities, just be unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can use these as kind of like if you look at just the Tiamat and the Bahamut stat blocks, those are kind of like pantheon deities, which count. They're still considered gods of dragons, and you can use those as like a basis if you want, but yeah, don't be scared to be unfair. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that you can throw at people, and adventurers are pretty hardy.
Even the new stat block for Vecna is pretty good as a template.
That's what
for-
actually.
That's the other side of what I brought today, was the Vecna stat block. It's like, hey, this dropped yesterday. Why don't we bring this in?
Yeah. Dread counterspell, 3 reactions around. It's a good time.
Mm. 5 legendary resistances.
Yeah.
How many did we take down?
I think on Vecna, with like by the time I think essentially he burned his
4 or
last one
5.
on that last 16.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And
So
then-
close.
yeah,
So close.
And then he was just already dead.
Permastun, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the monks are the banes of high level encounters. They just stun everything.
Yep.
Stunning strike
Yeah.
is so like eventually you're gonna roll low and have to burn your legendaries. Like it's inevitable when you're getting punched that many times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Though,
Yeah.
if I read stat blocks better, I shouldn't have cared.
He's immune to stun.
Both of them are immune to stun.
Oh,
Thanks for reminding me of that before breakout.
Yeah, that's oh, there we go. Yeah, you're running this a breakout. That's right.
Yeah.
So turn back the endless night. But anyway, when we so now the next kind of like one that we know of that is also in very good content is Carlo. What's your favorite one that you like to run that you kind of always toss in there?
Yeah, I'm always, looking on the cusp of things.
Spelled with a K.
Yeah, Cayuse. Yeah. So what is it? It's what's the actual trilogy? I can't remember. But I mean, there's Window to the Past, and then there's Trust and Understanding are the two. That's the Great Worm
Yeah, Saga of the
trilogy.
Worm.
Yeah, Saga of the Worm trilogy.
Yeah, by Alan Patrick.
Yeah.
Very, very another set of very good high tier modules. Very good trilogy.
Yeah, some lasting consequences as a tier 4 and even a tier 3, which one of the adventures is a combination of the two. Actually, I think the first two
The first two are module. They can be done tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4.
4. Yeah.
But if you run them all as tier 4, it's very good.
Yeah, and again, as we kind of mentioned, you're burning through resources, going through, and then fighting a god or an aspect of a god at the end, and permadeath is actually possible.
Yeah, so like
surprisingly at tier 4.
These are both Adventure League modules, so they're like permadeath's very hard to accomplish in Adventures League. Generally, there's always a way you can come back. True Resurrection, worst case scenario, if you don't have the money, you just sacrifice a magic item, and you can be true resurrected. But that in this there's a story award that you get in Adventures League that actually prevents you from coming back. So those are always those. So there's some fun that you can have with these high level encounters. So those are the two like published, like, you know, Wizards of the Coast adjacent stuff, Adventures League. What are some of the ones that are in the actual printed books? So
there's Tyranny of Dragons. Yep.
Where you're facing that.
With the Rise of Tiamat.
Yep. So Tiamat does feature in the second half of that, I believe. I've only played the first half myself.
That's right.
And then, of course, in Frost Maiden, there's the Frost Maiden.
Yeah, much lower level threat.
Yes.
Of a deity. You're not going to be like level 20 when you get there, but yeah, the Frost Maiden is a very good encounter at those levels.
Yeah, Oral has different aspects that you come across throughout the course of the adventure. No spoilers.
No spoilers. We're not going into too much detail. We're trying to do this.
Yeah, when Frost Maiden is on the
is in the title. Yeah,
it was like when Tiamat is in the title.
Yeah.
And Out of the Abyss, there's a quartet of demon lords. Those aren't technically gods, but they're god adjacent. They tend to actually fight with the gods more often than not. So they're kind of on that level. There's 4 of them in that book, and that can be pretty dicey if you get there and play your cards wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, and as with any kind of big boss fight, you know, you want to whittle down the resources of the party over the course of the campaign or the adventure if you're running a one shot. Because yeah, like with us coming up, you know, to a battle with
4 9th level spell slots times 2 on the simulacrums.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not going to happen. You know, whittle it down with, you know, a lot of their minions fighting, you know, maybe some traps, just, you know, the usual. Throw the 3 to 4 encounters at them before they even come to this, just so that, you know, it's a real threat. Otherwise, they're going to put them down, you know, in 2 rounds.
Yeah, because like there's no stat block that can stand up to like 4 or 5 or 6 level 20 characters by itself. There just isn't one.
Yeah, especially when they know each other too.
Yeah.
And with that being said, how often as DMs do you guys ever find yourself running the combat more narratively as opposed to like sticking with, hey, it's got, you know, 1,000 HP versus like, hey, it's getting to like half. You know, it's more of a narrative storytelling. Do you ever do that when you're running gods more often than you do other encounters? Or?
So I will if I'm not running Adventures League. Yeah. But in Adventures League, you're kind of like, you got to run the stat blocks as they are kind of thing. But yeah, I absolutely do that when I'm running non-Adventures League stuff.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to start with a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, you know, have the banter and such.
For a whole 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so that again, yeah. So because there's a lot more that you can kind of play with when you're like Adventures League is great, like for what it is, but at the same time, it does have its drawbacks. Like you'd lose out on some of that story. So that definitely, if I'm not running Adventures League, I will have a little bit more than just smash and grab kind of thing for my big final encounter kind of thing.
Yeah, and like in terms of gods in general, I like the Theros approach to it. That is that you don't get to fight the gods. No matter what you do, you don't get to. You can fight their champions and everything like that, but you're human, or one of the mortal races. A god's been around longer than you, and it will be around long after. It doesn't care about what's happening with you.
Yeah. Generally with these storylines that we were discussing, it's not so much that the god itself wants to deal with the party. It's more of the party is trying to stop the god from entering the world and with their aspect kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because like we said, like we prefaced at the beginning, you don't ever actually fight the gods. You fight what enters the world, which is just part of them, and which is terrifying in its own right, for the most part.
Definitely. Another couple rounds and we would have been hurting.
Yeah.
And the god would likely have had a lot more minions, you know.
Yeah, like
off to the side, like Archmage or something.
Yeah, because they don't tend to come into the world on their own. They tend to be brought in by something.
Yeah, like some Thans or something.
Yeah. If I'm running Vecna ever, I'm running it. He's the Archlich, where there's a bunch of other liches there and Archmages and things. Just to
you got the lich minions.
Yeah, just because yes, he's very interesting as of a stat block, but by himself,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You also throw in the fact that, there's 6 of us, 7,
7 with the
7
two
turns,
Simulacrums.
right? Yeah, with 10 with the 2
Yeah.
simulacrums. So, we just action economy is on the player side at that aspect. So again, throwing even some minions that they may take out, they may only take one shot to kill them, but that's an action that someone's got to waste to take out that minion, right? So it kind of balances the playing field a little bit more to give your deity a little more time to wreak some havoc and clench a few cheeks on the battlefield.
All right, so we've done Caius, we've done Dendar, we've talked about Tiamat, we've talked about the 4 demon lords and Out of the Abyss, we've talked about the Frost Maiden. Tiamat's also actually in Descent to Avernus, where you also find Zariel, which is kind of like another one of those like demigod kind of encounters that you're gonna run into. Are there any others any knows of? Just off the top, and printed stuff.
In printed stuff. So, not all the interactions that you have with the gods are always going to be fights, and there are good gods, right? So clerics are often going to confer with their gods, or a warlock might have a patron that's a god, like the Raven Queen is a popular one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that we've drawn her out into a fight, but she features at least a name in some adventures, especially some author onlys that I've had the opportunity to play with Travis in the Shadowfell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and maybe at some point, we'll get the chance to, put some of that stuff into, future adventures through, the different craft, so to speak, adventure writing, because with the Witchlight, if you wanted to potentially, talk about, some Fey realms, they have the Archfey, which are, god adjacent as well. If you wanted to get into a little bit of that as well.
So another one that is the that you can actually run into on the battlefield in part that you're trying to stop is in Hecatomb, actually, in one of the Adventure League epics, where Kieran Astley, one of the drow goddess of the dead, manages to bring in a bunch of death giants and cause some havoc. And yeah, that's another one that's can be pretty dangerous when you're on the end of an epic and you're running on fumes and you have to deal with the god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that TPKs a lot of parties.
It does.
Because again, you're going through a mad gauntlet of endless battle to just burn your resources ahead of that god final fight, right?
Yeah.
If memory serves, I think in Tome of Foes they had the stat blocks for most of the demon lords.
The demon lords, yeah, and I think they
yeah.
redid them in the new one
Yeah.
as well.
I
A lot
believe
of them.
yes.
Yeah.
So they actually even buffed a lot of them, which is
Yeah,
good
and
because
you're talking about Monsters of the Multiverse.
yes,
Yes,
that's the
just
new.
want to throw the name out there.
That I was just say I blanked on the name of the new book for some reason. Just call it the new one.
Yeah. Just what we
Which
have
is
a
good
tendency
because
to
that's
do.
what we're talking about next week.
Oh, that's a really good point. We're going to be talking about the new race options for characters that are in Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse. Yeah.
That's going to be our fireside chat for next week.
Yeah. So, how's about we close it off right there then?
Yeah, it's a good time to end it. Unless anybody else has any other questions, any other comments.
Yeah, I didn't see anything here on the Q&A, no questions. But of course, if you're watching on YouTube and you have questions, just throw something in the comments, or you can join our Discord server. UniteTheFactions.com is where you can find us. And of course, running these fan meetups on FanExpoHQ.com. So thanks everyone, in the audience that joined us live. Thanks, of course, to our fellow players. And of course, our DM today, Kyle. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for letting me play on my own show for once.
Yep.
Never
Pleasure.
again.
Yeah.
And we get to fly, which is nice too.
Yeah. So hopefully we are going to see some people at Fan Expo coming up in at the end of August.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have more details to share on that in the near future.
Yes, hopefully we will.
All right, so take it easy, everyone.
right.
Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.